getting into the guy that I think universally we can say had the best year amongst these rookie quarterbacks. And I think that's definitive. Of course, won Rookie of the Year. I think it was very well earned. That is Jayden Daniels, the number 2 pick to the Washington Commanders, finished with the 4th highest EPA per play among rookie quarterbacks since 2012. There's 28 quarterbacks. I'm going to be referring to this list quite a bit, so might as well just drop it in now. The 3 guys above them that finished higher were Dak Prescott, RG3, and Russell Wilson. And then the rest of the top 10 is Mac Jones, Andrew Luck, Justin Herbert, Teddy Bridgewater, and Kyler Murray, and then Jameis Winston, if I can count to 10. Man, I don't know where you guys want to start, what the strengths of this game is. Matt, Jayden Daniels, I have some reviewing of him. Have you watched Luke McCaffrey yet?
I'm going to save that one until we see if he's actually going to get on the football
I wasn't sure
field.
if that was part of it. I know you've watched plenty of Commanders, though, and everything, but Jayden Daniels, how does he have you feeling right now, May 21st, after we're outside the glow of maybe the rookie season still high on him?
Yeah, I'm still glowing. Yeah. Spoiler alert for our quarterback ranking.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I have Jayden Daniels ranked really high.
Yes,
I just think he checks so many boxes. He's accurate to all 3 levels of the field. Obviously, I always talk about it. He's like obnoxiously cool under any sort of like. And not pressure as in like, pass rushers, like pressure in terms of the moment. Like nothing is ever too big for him. I think that you can't say that enough. I also thought that he was like a better scrambler than maybe I thought he'd be in the NFL. He was like he led all quarterbacks in scramble yards. And he was like a true weapon there. And, I think there's some moments where, hey, maybe you want him to sit there and like stare down the barrel instead of taking off, but he's so productive and useful as a scrambler. You almost don't want to hold that against him. So I just also think like the nitpicks in his game that you can make are truly nitpicks. And there are nitpicks that you could say about guys like, that were young players at different points of their career too, that we now consider among like the game's elite. And, I mean, truly, I think that is the ceiling for him, is to be considered in, that Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson like cohort at some point. So I'm very optimistic going forward. The only hesitation I have is not about him, is just, did they kind of do enough? Like, did they make the right moves in terms of the pass catchers? Like you mentioned Luke McCaffrey. I thought McCaffrey showed some things in very brief moments, but he barely played, which I think is a little bit concerning, that considering they didn't have a lot of guys combating him on that depth chart. McLaurin's still great, but he's a sneaky older player. Not that I'm predicting like a McLaurin fall off, but he is a sneaky older player for being a 2019 draft pick. Debo is Debo. Debo has the 3rd worst success rate versus man coverage in reception perception history last season. Real big fall off for him. So that's like the only thing I'm a little bit worried about. But otherwise, yeah, in terms of Jayden Daniels himself, I saw everything I needed to see in year 1 to think like this is one of the next best quarterbacks in the league.
Charles, similar levels of optimism, or do you have anything maybe that you're like, I maybe want to see this in year 2 and beyond?
I don't really know how to. It's weird to kind of talk about the Commanders' offense because they just live and die so much on 3rd and 4th down. But like when you look at their 1st and 2nd down numbers, those are still pretty good too. Which is kind of like it's a weird like combination of stats. But usually when you see teams that have so many 3rd down plays and so many 4th down plays, that means they suck on first.
Yep.
Right. But their numbers average out to be pretty good. So I still think they should have a pretty good year on offense. I think getting Tunsil and Connerly this offseason at tackle was huge. Because even if Tunsil could just cut down on the penalties, I think that's still probably pretty good left tackle. All in all, it's an upgrade of what you had last year. Yeah. And we talked about Connerly a bunch, where we're all high on him and think he can be one of the better tackles in the league. So that's pretty good, because Daniels is someone who's going to expose himself to a lot of hits. Mm-hmm. He did pretty well last year, I think, to stay up. I mean, we saw that huge hit in the game against Tampa Bay where he got rocked out of bounds, and you could see, okay, he really does weigh like 190 something, you know?
I was nervous. That was that was week 1. I was nervous.
Yeah. And I think he was like, wow, that space closed a little quicker than against Florida.
Yeah, you still have the moments where you're like, okay, he does still weigh like 195 pounds.
Yes.
That's a little scary. But man, like the escapability is just, it's so hard to find. And I think that as long as he can run a 4.3, I don't really see why that's going to go away. I think that they're probably going to be one of the better offenses in the league this year. I just want to see if they can, I guess, avoid how many third and fourth downs they have to play, because over the long haul, that's just not a sustainable style of football, just living in like these one-play samples. But other than that, man, the more I looked at it, I was like, man, I think I'm still in on this guy. He just generated so much by himself, and now he has a little more help on the offensive line.
What was really encouraging for me, or really where I was kind of like reviewing him again, it's fun watching him in season, then taking a breath, and then watching him after, a few months after, is just that he doesn't make mistakes. That it's just, he's so hyper efficient is how I kind of just keep describing him, almost like Dak that can run a 4.3, where it's just
pretty
like
cool
just
player.
a lot. Yeah, that's a really cool player. And it's even blemishes I still have. Okay, takes a few too many sacks and doesn't throw a ton over the middle, which is always what I prefer. Guess what? He threw it better over the middle than he ever did in college, and it's already a thing where he can hang his hat on it. So, all right, that blemish isn't enough to hinder his game. You know what I mean? Like, he can win in other ways so well, throwing to the outside, throwing accurately. When he does take sacks, he also doesn't take back-breaking sacks. Like, yeah, he has a high sack rate. He took the 6th most sacks last year. I think his sack rate was over 9%, but he only lost the 11th most sack yards. It's a lot of 2-yard losses, 3-yard losses, 4-yard losses. Yeah, you don't want your quarterback to get sacked that much and take those, but when you're going for it on 4th down every time, all right, we'll get it. All right, say I take a sack on 1st down. It's 1st and 15 now, or 2nd and 15 now. 6-yard gain, 7-yard gain on 2nd down. All right, it's 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8. Hit another 6-yard gains, 4th and 3. There's a 1st down. So, like, those weren't backbreakers. It's not like Jalen Hurts takes sacks, they're 15-yard losses. Like that. And Russell Wilson, when he took sacks, especially early in his career, 12-yard losses. Those are drive killers. Done. Dead. This is what Ben Johnson was referring to when he was talking about EPA and taking sacks.
Yeah.
And then even when he's working on with Caleb Williams. That was like a nice, I wouldn't say a pleasant surprise, but it was like, okay, you can win this way. That's okay. You can be a runner. You don't take huge hits. He takes a couple. We just laughed about the Bucs one. But I mean, I'm looking, even just thinking like right now, I can only remember 2 or 3 bigger hits that he took. So I was like, all right, that's already an improvement. You're getting out of bounds. You're getting efficient yards. He's able to pull out of defenders' grasps a lot better than I thought. His wiry strength is actually, he's pretty strong and be able to pull out of guys, which again, pleasant surprise. I had some iffiness on that, how it translates to the NFL. He's already shown it as a rookie, so that was pretty cool. Like, I think no matter what, the floor of Jayden Daniels is always going to be so high because he's efficient, doesn't make mistakes, accurate, and can run. And yeah, there's gonna be times where it's gonna be a little boom bust with how open things are down the field. I still want him to push the ball sometimes. I think sometimes he takes the low on high lows a little too often. These are minor blemishes. Like, right. I mean, that again, nitpicking. That is truly nitpicking. Like, he is. I was kind of hesitant on him throughout the year, reviewing him like, no, this is a keeper. This is a guy that's not going to have that scary RG3 fall off or that scary Mac Jones fall off. I don't think sometimes it will be as good because they're so hyper efficient on 3rd and 4th down. But man, I don't know. I see this sticking, and I see them boosting up the offensive line. That's only going to help. They have even more reliability, maybe even some more guys that can create some yak. But like, he was making, him and Zach Ertz had chemistry, like, because he was just so good throwing them all. Like, that's what it's cool when these quarterbacks do that with these random guys, and it's like, oh, they have chemistry. And it's like, usually it's because the quarterback's pretty good, so I'm not going to take that away. And speaking to the scramble stuff, he had 75 scrambles last year. I think we brought us up at the end of the year award show when we gave him Rookie of the Year. 75 scrambles last year is the most in True Media's database, which goes back to 2002. 3rd highest scramble rate. He had a 71% scramble success rate. 53 of those 75 scrambles were an efficient play for Washington. That's tremendous. That's how you win games. And that's how you stay ahead of the chains constantly. So, man, doesn't put the ball in harm's way, accurate, and can run. That's a good combo of quarterbacks. He's skinny, and I'm going to keep an eye on that, but he's showing a lot that I'm like, oh, man, this is a real good player. My optimism's, I mean, at least an 8. I might be, I think maybe Commanders are going to have some cold water thrown on them at some times this year, harder schedule, some of the luck that they had. But man, I think Jaden's just always going to keep him in games because his floor is so high. So, at least an 8 for me, maybe even higher. Charles, you feeling the same?
Yeah, I'm about an 8. I just think, because I went back and watched, like, this is just he's a special guy with the speed and the accuracy alone. are enough to keep you at a high floor, and he's going to keep attacking down the field. It's a lot of fun to watch him play. Is it the most complex offense? No, but I like watching it. And they score a lot of big plays.
Right. Honestly, we've said requiem for Cliff Kingsbury, man. Like it's like just watching them, man. All last year, I don't think I even used that term right, but I'm going to use it like that. But honestly, watching them like just. Honestly, it was a cool offense, and watching him operate, it's a cool thing. It's a perfect merging of quarterback skill set and offense. What about you, Matt? What's your optimism scale at?
Yeah, I'll go 9. I'd go 10 out of 10 if they'd had like one more dynamic pass catcher, or even like another back somewhere in this offseason. That's the only thing kind of holding me back from 10.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. I mean, I think one of the fun conversations is going to be which NFC East quarterback you take. You know, like, do you prefer Dak, Jalen Hurts, or Jayden Daniels? Like, I think that's going to be a fun conversation to watch throughout this year, because especially 3 very stylistically different quarterbacks. Even if Jayden Daniels is like the split of those two, of Hurts and Dak. You know what I mean? Like, he's the merger of it, maybe much faster, of course, but kind of the in between of those guys. So I think it's going to be fun to watch how that all goes throughout the year.